Good evening, everybody. Welcome again. My name is Ben Reisinger, the professor of DMM 110, Introduction to Digital Media Marketing and Applications in the School of Adult Learning at the University of Indianapolis. Tonight is week 5, and again, this is an accelerated course and an accelerated program, so this is our final class. It's been a quick 5 weeks, and we've had a lot of fun, and we've covered basically the basic essentials that you need to know if you would like to become more proficient in digital media marketing or more proficient in what they consider social or new media, things of that nature. So we have Janet with us again, our lone student. We had 2 students, and we have 1. So thank you again, Janet, for being here. You can hear me still? Okay, cool. I just want to make, all right, there we go. Cool. All right, so there was no reading. The last 4 weeks I've gone through the book when we begin class, but I kind of just wanted to, very briefly overview again. We use this book right here by Michael Yoder, B2B Digital Marketing. The book gave a very good brief overview of digital marketing, some good stats. It is a little dated. The book is a couple years old right now, and it talks about some social media platforms and so forth, and trends and practices that we do not use here today. So, but again, it was a good, just get into, very just down to earth. This is what digital media marketing is. So, first off here, I'm going to let me pull up my syllabus. And we're going to talk about basically the course objectives, because I want to make sure that everybody understands, and Janet, that you understand what we have and what we've tried to figure out these at the last 5 weeks. So the first objective again was understand how the internet, social media, and mobile platforms can be conversational with language and terminology within the arena. So again, you've posted Janet as yourself. You've posted personal posts. You've posted posts about digital media and marketing, things of that nature. And again, that's what's called building your personal brand. So 5 weeks later, how do you look at that now compared to week 1 when you were having to do all those posts? And I know it kind of freaked you out a little bit. How has your thought process changed, or what do you think of now versus 5 weeks ago?
I just think that there's a lot of information out there, good information, that that I wasn't aware of that's out there, and I've learned, quite a bit since I've been on here, and probably pushing us to do these posts was probably a good idea, because then we were able to, I had to force myself to do this because I'm very busy throughout the day and just with normal life, and so it kind of does, at first, it just is like, whoa, it's kind of overwhelming, but it's amazing to see that so many people spend so much time out there on the media, and it's crazy.
I gotcha. You're right. People do. There are some people that spend a lot of time on it, like myself with my new iPhone 6 Plus, which I'm absolutely in love with. I was very happy to be able to get one of these. So, and right there, UND DMM 110 class. There's my reminder. But yeah, we love applications and we love doing the postings, and that's there for a reason. And hopefully, it's given you a better, and it seems like it has, a better understanding of what is out there for you to find and what is out there for you to also curate and learn from. All right, second objective, understand and be able to use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Foursquare, YouTube, Google+, and WordPress. I said about WordPress. WordPress blogging platform. Janet, you've done a great job of getting to know those better, especially your posts have gotten better on LinkedIn. Let's see here. Is anybody else? This event is starting now. Let others know. Okay, just checking. Sorry, it's my ADD. You've done a great job of getting to know those other platforms better and of keeping the posts up on those other platforms. As I've searched the hashtag, I do appreciate it. And again, it seems like you've gotten a little fancier, and maybe it's gotten easier with you every week with your WordPress blogs. What do you think now about your key knowledge with these platforms versus how it was 5 weeks ago? Is it better? Is it the same? And then my question to you is, will you take this after this class and use this for your own benefit?
Oh, most definitely. 'Cause I'm hoping actually to get in some, like I think I had said this from the beginning, with City 360. It's all, digital media marketing. And it's just opened me up to new things that I wasn't aware that was out there, such as the LinkedIn. I didn't know that was for all these other things. I just thought it was strictly for jobs. So as far as the Google Plus, I didn't know anything about that. I didn't have a Twitter account, so now I'm full blown on all the media. I forget about sometimes the Instagram things because I take pictures and post them on so many other things. I kind of forget about that, but it's interesting that I look up more apps now and see what's really out there. That something I would be interested in besides just this as well.
Because before you kind of really just thought about social media as kind of, I mean, just like Facebook, right? But now you think about how there are other platforms and how they do other things. Will you continue to use some of the other platforms after class, or are there some that are more, you like or appreciate more than others?
I think I'm going to expand on the WordPress. That one really has captured me. So I think that you said something about branding yourself. I think that would be the best way to go because that seems to be the biggest one that's going right now.
And it definitely, that'll help just to get your search out there for you organically, show that you understand what you're talking about. And that's actually the next bullet point. Understand the principles of a professional website and the basics of web development. And I think now you're, again, very quickly we've taught you this over here and we've chatted about it. But you're understanding why a blog site, why a website is important. And, I mean, honestly, has WordPress gotten easier for you with every week and as you do every blog? How do you feel about that content management system, the back-end system of WordPress?
I feel much better about it.
Yeah? Cool. I'm glad to hear that.
Spend time with it, and then there's so much more to it, and it seems like I find something new every time that I'm using it. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
And something to make your blog better and better and better. So absolutely. The next one, next objective, be able to write a sound professional blog post. And yes, I will tell you this, Janet, your blog posts have gotten better every week. You're a little lengthy the first week and have a little bit of extra words in there, but as each week has progressed, your writing, you can tell that you're becoming more succinct. You can tell that your thought process of what exactly it is that you want to say in a blog is a little bit better and more streamlined. So how have you felt about the writing?
I just write what comes to me, so I'm just putting out there. Hopefully everybody can understand. Sometimes I think I get ahead of myself and people can't read my mind and it just kind of comes out. So hopefully it came across to where you could understand it.
No, it's good, and you've done a good job, and continue with it. I'm telling you, it will only help you. And a lot of people blog about, their families, and that has been, in general life, and that's been what some of your blogs have been about. And, those are very, very popular. Just, again, think about when you're writing those, think about who it is that you would want to read your blog, and then maybe that can help you with your tags, with, the actual outline, of the writing itself. Next objective, be able to integrate online business activities and tactics into a larger strategy of relationship building with key publics and constituents. Basically, that is saying be able to use social media, interact with people, retweet people, and understand how that the business activities of that, again, interact with your personal, interact with your brand. And I think you've taken, away with that. We talked about that last week a lot, especially with Steve Neville, and a little bit the week before. And then the last objective, be able to use social media, online tools, and techniques for professional activities, which again is similar to the last objective. And we briefly talked about that, but I have full confidence that you can now go in, yes, if you have an internship, yes, if you work for a nonprofit or a business, and be able to tell them, I have had experience running these platforms, and I can do this on a professional level for you and or your business. Do you ever think that you would do this professionally? Because I know that you took this class as an elective and not as part of the major, but do you think you will just use social media, personally now, or do you think there's a possibility of a professional use of it for you?
I don't know if that would be the main thing that I would do, but now that I have a better understanding of it, I think that would help me as far as where I want to go out with, even just in the sales department or the marketing of whatever it is that I'm going to be a part of. I think that if I use some of these things that I've learned, that I'm going to be ahead of the game if they're not aware of how how good this is to have.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Right on, right on. So there are our course objectives, and I hope you've had fun. The whole purpose of this class is to be fun, is to make you be a little techie, especially with these Google Plus Hangouts and stuff like that. So right on, right on. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I'd like to talk about apps and tech a little bit more. That discussion got kind of quickened. So let's talk tech. I mean, here's one of your big ones. Not even 6 weeks ago, the iPhone 6, and the iPhone 6 Plus, which is what this is right here. They have come out, and I mean that's some of the new tech. And tech, and within the industry that we're working in, has a lot to do with it. You always have to keep up with those. With the trends. You have to know what's happening. You have to know, okay, hey, is my website or is my app or my widget, whatever that might be that you're using in the digital media marketing realm, is that compatible with some of the new technology that's coming out? The big one, yes, there have been some wearable watches, but as of right now, the Apple Watch is slated to come out early 2015. People are lining up to get the Apple Watch, and it looks pretty cool, but again, it's a first-generation device for Apple. We'll see how that goes, and hopefully it will be fun. But the tech side, Janet, this pushed you as well in that tech side by having to learn more and more, because you're not even using a traditional laptop or PC. You're basically taking the entire class from a tablet, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you feel like your tablet and yourself have become more of one, or you can kind of work your way around your tablet a lot easier now?
I can, but I do carry this too, so I've got I'm 7. So I'm looking at one, or I'm talking to you and checking things as we're going right now. So.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And, multitasking is a big part of what a lot of people do in the whole digital media realm. So you definitely have to keep that into consideration. Okay, so, there's tech. And I could go on for tech forever and ever and ever. We have these. We have our iPads. We have your Samsung Notes, Galaxy Notes, like what you have. And we're going to continue. And, technology evolves. So will digital media marketing and applications that are with it. And again, as part of being a professional in that industry, you don't have to be an expert in it, and knowing everything about tech, but you really need to kind of know what's going on. You need to know kind of what's on the horizon if you truly want to be ahead of the curve and be one of those early innovators, which you really strive to be. So there's tech. Again, it's just you and me, Janet. So next thing I'd like to talk about is just kind of putting everything that we've talked about in the 5 weeks together as one, because we've talked about a lot. I mean, if you look at the core of the class has been a few things. There's been social media posting, website and blogging, public relations, and how to actually use it effectively with digital media, and then your web final, which is a web video, okay? So, you have your 4 major components, and you have to think about them all as one. A lot of people, again, I can't stress this enough. Oh, I can do social media. Oh, I can create a video. Oh, I know about PR. But they all have to work together in tandem. We're not to that point yet where it's just digital media. It's just there. There's still a lot to be said to old school, face-to-face contact, that business to see the consumer, the customer type of relationship. And that is a lot of that is what digital media is all about, and you have to take that into consideration. So let's see here. Oh, looks like we got some people watching us, Jan. We got 2 viewers. All right. They want to hear a little bit more about DMM 110. It's cool. So when thinking about that, do you think about, tell me how you think about social media now. You know, how did you think about social media pre-Digital Media Marketing 110, and now in the last week of class, as you're working on your final, what's your view of social media like now? So can you give us a comparison?
Well, I guess I didn't realize how important it was before, but I didn't realize also how time-consuming. It's very time-consuming, and you have to know what to put out there and what, I guess know your audience and grab the attention of what you're looking for, and who you want the feedback from. So I think channeling some of the people that you're targeting opposed to the ones that you don't want, I think that once they jump on and see, like, whoever's watching right now, if this isn't something they're interested in, that they can just go the other way.
Sure.
But I think that one thing is people are so time consumed that if it's not something that's interesting, they're going to jump off anyway. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's not something that's going to. So I just think that it's. I just look at things a little bit differently now.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. It's just been like, oh, it's just like the same. I've been like, oh, I didn't do my job as the prof. You know, again, you realize. Oh, go ahead.
It's overwhelming in some of it. It's just a lot.
Sure.
So it's something that you have to stay on top of for sure, because if you let it go, then it's gone.
Yes, and again, we've talked about that, how it's not something that you can just do when you want. Again, then that's why, you know, I had those schedules for you for your posts. When you start a social brand for yourself, for business, for a nonprofit, you have to continue with that. You can't just let that go. You can't just post every now and then. I mean, people will think, oh, you know, they really don't care about it. They won't follow us. But hey, if you know you got a good presence, you're engaging your audience, you're engaging your primary stakeholders, like you said. I mean, that is truly when digital media marketing is at its best. I'll give you an example. Today, for my job at Mary Free Bed Rehabilitation Hospital, we broke ground on a new YMCA. So Mary Free Bed is a nonprofit rehabilitation hospital that is owned by what's called the Mary Free Bed Guild, and that's a guild of about 150 women in the Grand Rapids area. And the Mary Free Bed Guild, their sole purpose is to give back and help make Grand Rapids a better place, help make it a healthier place, and things of that nature. So the Mary Free Bed Guild was the primary donor, and they gave money to the YMCA, and now we broke ground today on the Mary Free Bed YMCA. So I used social media to my advantage during this, where I was tweeting, I was live tweeting from the event. I had a scheduled Facebook post to go out that had an artist rendering of the front of the event. You know, and again, with Facebook, we've talked about how it is unfortunate that you have to use a little bit of money now on the business side if you want to truly reach people. I had to put a little bit of money behind it because, yes, I knew the organic reach would be there. I knew that my primary stakeholders that always get on our stuff and think, oh, this is great, would, but I wanted to reach a little bit more of a wider range, broader type of audience. And it really did help me. It helped me reach about 5,000 to 8,000 at least as of right now. About 4:30 was the last time, about 2 hours that I looked at it. It helped reach a more of a wide range of audience. So it is definitely about those relationships, keeping it with your primary people. You know, if you're doing something, my primary audience again are females. They are females aged 35 to 65. So I knew that in Twitter I was reaching more of a Grand Rapids-based audience, more of a media type of audience. And then I knew in Facebook, when I did that, I knew that was reaching, really one of my core primary audiences. And then the other thing was I also created a blog that went out today, and our photographer and videographer is working on a video that will be out tomorrow that will help me continue to kind of build upon what we've done today. Today we put an artist rendering out there. Today we just put out there that, hey, welcome to it's going to be open up, in a year and a half, the brand new Mary Free Bed YMCA. And it is one of the most universally designed buildings in the entire country, and that is for wheelchair accessibility for people that aren't able-bodied, that might have some type of a disability, to use the facility, to their fullest capacity, to the fullest extent that they can. So we're really excited about that, and so that was how I was using. I got an itch on my nose. Sorry. Woo. That is how I was using social media to help promote that event, which in turn, will help build some momentum into, the hype of the event. And they're still actually trying to fundraise a little bit, for that building. And, that might be a secondary outcome of using the digital media for the groundbreaking of the YMCA. So that's a way that, again, I've used strategic, old school public relations right along with, the new digital media. Excuse me. Iced tea from the iced tea maker is delicious. Love it. Sorry. Okay. Let's go. Okay, so the biggest takeaway, Janet, since you and me here talking, if you would look back at this class and you think, what is the biggest thing? What was your biggest aha moment? What is your biggest takeaway? What would you, people ask, hey, what did you really learn in digital media, DMM 110, apps and marketing? What would you say?
Really that there's just so much out there, more than what I think people realize, and it's forced me to look into things I would have never done before. So, and it's kind of opened my eyes to what's out there, what you should look at, what you shouldn't look at. But don't forget the personal side of it, that you still need the one-on-one relationship even though you have all of this.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great takeaway. I always like to ask people, what's your big aha moment? What did you really like? Did you have anybody ask you about the hashtag when you were doing all the posts? We're like, what's this DMM 110 thing? Did anybody ask?
Yes. I mean, it was driving people crazy. And then finally somebody asked, and which I had pre-posted it, but, after so long, and if somebody doesn't see your stuff and they're not out there all the time, then they asked what it was. And so I had to remind them once again, and then I think I sent another reminder like halfway through the 5 weeks, because they're like, what? Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. Right on. I have a lot of students that say that, it's like, oh, okay, what's this hashtag? And they tell them, and they go back and they, oh, that's pretty cool, So, okay, 6:25. We're going to end a little early here before we have our speaker, but let me ask you, what's been your favorite thing about class so far? What have you liked the best about all of it? The writing, the blogging, the social media, the web?
I'm going to say probably the blogging.
Yeah, and that's why you said you kind of continue it?
A lot of things that I'm feeling is, I probably should write a book. And for me to put this out there like that, so I probably should do a lot more writing, because some of this stuff is unbelievable anyway. So I think that was the biggest thing, is putting it out there.
Cool. And, and if you continue with your writing and continue to put it, that's a free platform for you to get your writing out there. And then you can use social media as your next platform to help push that out and disseminate that to your friends and your family, people that might be interested in reading what you say. Pretty cool. All right, that's great. So now let's talk web video real quick. Your web video final. I sent you, what was that, on Monday, that list of 10 apps that I found for the Samsung Note there about some good video editing software, since you are using your iPhone along with your pad, or not your pad, with your netbook, or not netbook, excuse me, with your tablet. I have to use the right terminology here, we're in class. With your tablet to do your videos. So I loved your topic. Again, how do people over the age of 40 utilize social media, correct?
It was, yeah, it was something like that.
Okay, really, so how's it going? Where are you at now with the process of your final project?
I was kind of wanting to get some ideas, and I was out there looking, and I wasn't really seeing, like, what I thought I was going to see, and like, because I went to some of the other classes and their finals, and to me, like, I seen like two that was maybe on subject, the other ones were just random videos, so I'm not sure if I was looking at the right thing, but I was just kind of wanting to get a feel of what to do with that. But I did download one of the apps, and I do have an interview with somebody that hasn't happened yet, so I'm kind of concerned that I'm getting down to the wire here, and if I haven't had that interview, then I'm going to have to somehow do this myself.
It can be a self-reflection if you want. You can, again, we talked about setting, your device on the table, hitting record, and going back around and sitting in front of it. If you do have someone in mind, though, I mean, that's always great. Or it could be, maybe one anecdote from someone else, and then maybe also you include yourself in it, and to give two different perspectives about what people think about using it, about the platforms and things of that nature. How are you feeling with the apps itself to do the video editing for your final web video? Which app did you download, can I ask?
It was the FX.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Cool.
I'm just playing around with that today. I'm just I'm not real sure about it yet, but I mean, I guess my thing that kind of came out of this as well is because this person is doing social media, and it only started 4 years ago, and he's progressed so much since that 4 years, and he didn't expect it to take off the way that it did. So I thought that would be a good interview, and him being.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. But if I can't get that, then I'm going to have to emphasize, something else. But
we'll try to track him down. It's Thursday night.
I know.
Let's do Sunday. Give yourself at least 24 hours to edit. That way, if you have any issues, and all I can say during your editing process, always hit save. Always hit save after you do every little thing. That way, if the app accidentally crashes, since you're using it, especially since you're on a tablet, the apps are a little bit more wonky and stuff. That way, you don't lose any of your work that you've done. But you can do some pre-work. Let's say you know what your questions are and you want to do a title screen. You can do a pre-work title screen. Let's say you can do your, if you're going to put a small little credit screen at the end of that, you can pre-do that. If you know the person's name or your name, you could maybe create a lower third or something like that. That way you have those ready. Most files and most video editing softwares will let you create those and have those, and you can put in the other pieces as you get them. So very cool. So you're going to shoot it with your tablet and then edit it straight on your tablet, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I think that will work just fine. I think you'll have some fun. I've never, this came preloaded with iMovie on it, and I've played with iMovie on the desktop, but never on a, I guess a lot of people are calling this a phablet now. It's very interesting. Not even a phone, but a phone tablet, a phablet. Even though this is the same size as most Galaxy Notes and things like that. But I think I'm going to try to take a small video and edit it on that and see how cumbersome. Because again, I'm used to taking it, sitting down at a laptop or a desktop, throwing it on there with a mouse. That way, I can, have easy access and move everything around. But see how that kind of swipe and positioning with fingers, how that all works with the whole video editing process. So, all right, it's 6:30 right now. Do you have any other questions, Janet? And we're gonna take a break. We'll come back about 6:55, 6:57, and we'll have with us Michael Yoder. And this guy is a smart guy. He is right on with social media. He has done social media for a few years. He's done it for several organizations, and right now he is currently one of the overseers of the social media and the new media content and the practice of that, of new media for Spectrum Health Medical System. So the guy knows his stuff, and he'll give you a really interesting kind of look about how this all, I know I've talked about the healthcare, but how he kind of does it for a corporation and things like that. Any questions at all? Any other questions about the web video? About your final blog? Next week, I'm actually on vacation, so I will have your grade. I entered your grades into ACE today. started a grade book system. So everything's in there now, and all I'm just waiting for you to finish everything on Sunday, and then I'll input and finish your grades early next week, so you'll have your grade early next week.
Oh, is there one more blog that we have to do?
Yes, there is one that's due the end of this week. Basically, if possible, I've left them open to you, but if you can kind of, again, it's a 1,000-word at max reflective blog via WordPress. Make this one, as your kind of, end of class blog. What have you learned? What have you taken away from it? And I think that would be really cool to have there on your WordPress site.
I think I never know how much words I'm really typing in there. At one point, I thought I seen where it said it, but since then, I can't tell how many words that I am writing. So I don't know if I'm going over, under.
You've gone over a couple times. A couple times you've hovered right around 700 to 1,000. So, you're keeping them right there. You're doing okay.
Okay.
Trust me, if you would have been doing like 2,000-3,000 word blogs, or if your blogs would have all been like 200 words or 300 words or something, it's again, I'd let you know if you were going to one end of the spectrum or the other.
Okay. Yeah. Very good.
But,
good.
Yeah, you're doing just good, and you only got one more to go. Woo!
All right, then. Woo!
All right, you got it. Okay, again, thank you, everybody. We'll be back here in about half an hour, and again, our special guest speaker this week is Michael Yoder of Spectrum Health. Thanks, Janet. We'll see you in a bit.
Thank you.